And welcome to our first Celtics Spotlight video of the 2020-21 school year here on the Carlow Sports Network. I'm host Sean Meyers, joined by a senior goalkeeper for the men's soccer team, DJ Zedalis. DJ, thank you for taking the time to do this.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's a big year for you because you got to return to the soccer team after a pretty notable absence. You were gone the last 2 years. How has that return gone so far for you?
You know, I think it's gone a lot better than I expected. You know, obviously, looking at it from a team perspective, you know, we always want better results. But, you know, looking at it as a season as a whole, you know, I'm looking forward to what the team can do, and I'm glad that I get to be part of this team and help them get to where they want to be.
Missing so much time, what were the biggest challenges in coming back?
Definitely the confidence. You know, I had hip surgery about a year and a half ago, and although I did finish PT, as soon as PT was done, you know, you lose the motivation, you don't have anything to work for. But once Coach Polidor emailed me and asked me to come back, it gave me that spark, that fire, that motivation to get back into shape. But that was definitely probably the biggest challenge. And then really just trying to get back into the motions, the technique of the goalkeeper position. But yeah, those were probably the two biggest challenges for me.
Coach Polidor actually told me the other day he thinks you're a better goalie now than when you played back in 2017. Do you agree with that?
That's definitely up in the air. I would say I'm definitely a lot more mentally better as a goalkeeper, but I definitely think I can improve from where I am now. I would say I'm probably in the same position I was in 2017. I wouldn't say I'm better yet.
Well, you talk about the mental aspect. You had a different perspective the last couple of years. You worked in the athletics department and you did a lot of the men's soccer games. So how did that help you?
You know, being able to see the soccer field in a different perspective rather than just standing behind those guys, but seeing the field as a whole, it definitely just opens your eyes to seeing the entire field, what guy should be where, you know, where your midfielder needs to be whenever your defender pushes up. You know, just seeing those things, seeing that one extra pass that could be made to make the net even more wide open. You know, being able to look up from the booth and see all of those things happen really helps you whenever you get back on the field and they're just standing back there.
Goalkeeper is certainly an interesting position. There's a lot of tension on it. What's your favorite aspect of that?
Honestly, I just like that I'm the only guy who can use my hands. It makes me feel like I'm the powerhouse of the field. My other favorite thing is penalty kicks. I really like the whole mental aspect of it. You know, trying to push a guy to the side that you're going, you know, just getting in his head, maybe be able to miss the net and everything. Just the mental aspect of goalkeeping is awesome.
It's your net now, but the last couple of years, Adam Meyers was the go-to goalie. He had a pretty good career. Now he's remained on staff as a coach. How's he helped you?
Oh, my God. He has been the absolute greatest guy. I mean, he has helped me just kind of get back into that form and has built that confidence. And he could tell from the first practice, you know, I wasn't too sure of diving on my right side. I wasn't too sure jumping off of my right foot. And he was very understanding of that. And he knew that we were going to get there. So just the pace that he let me move at and just kind of develop into the keeper that I am now, you know, he's been an absolute tremendous help. And, you know, I think it was nice that he's played the past couple of years and has been able to give me that knowledge so I can be prepared for what's happening this season.
I know you talked about wanting the team to improve and individually wanting to improve, but did you set any goals either team-wise or individually heading into this year?
So we're a very young team, and if you were there Saturday, you heard that lineup, or Thursday, and you heard the lineup. It's just, you know, freshman, sophomore, couple juniors, couple seniors, but, you know, the goals that we set, we wanted better results than last year. You know, the scores last year didn't show how good of a team we were, and we wanted to show everybody how good of a team we are this year. You know, last year, Point Park's result was not what we wanted. This year, we know we could have beat them, but, you know, those small mistakes come back to bite us. And I think if we played them again later in the season, I think we could beat Point Park. It's just improving every game and getting a better result than the game before.
You mentioned that I was at the last match doing the broadcast on the Carlow Sports Network. I was there, but the fans were not there. That's been the case all year. It'll likely be the case for all of your home games. How does that kind of change things for you?
You know, I'm one of the weird ones where, like, you know, the fans don't bother me home or away. You know, I am so focused in on the game that I just block out all of the noise. I definitely think it would help us as a whole as a team because, you know, we got a lot of people who are backing us, a lot of people who watch the broadcast, and I think it would really help the guys out on the field. You know, the legs start getting weak, you know, you're a little bit more out of breath, you don't want to push yourself, and you hear that one extra crowd cheer, and it just gives you that final sprint.
I know you said you're a big fan of facing penalty kicks,
yeah.
Correct? If you could go against any player in the world, who would you like to face in a PK scenario?
Oh, man. Who do you think I could save, or just any player in general?
I think you could save a shot against anyone, but maybe I'm just being optimistic. Who would be the most enjoyable to go against?
I think Ronaldo, because I think I could get in his head enough to where he would miss. But I think he would put it up in the top 90 no matter what. But I would at least try and get in his head.
Maybe if he's watching, we could potentially set that up in the future.
I think my other pick would honestly be John Vieira on our team.
He can finish.
Yeah, the kid's just unbelievable. I got to take 2 penalties against him in practice, but I mean practice isn't a game scenario. And he messes with my mind, which is supposed to be my job, but the kid's just unbelievable.
You're a math major.
I
What
am.
would be a future profession you would love to have?
I'm actually enrolled in the accelerated education program here at Carlow. So I'm currently working with the education department now and plan on continuing after I graduate with my bachelor's in math for that master's of education to become a teacher.
It's been a crazy time for everyone. Obviously, during the pandemic, things have had to change quite a bit. You know, we're wearing the masks right now. What have been some of the biggest adjustments to being a college student during this time for you?
You know, it's really, like, at least whenever we were going to class, you know, you knew you had class Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You knew when the quizzes and the tests were going to be. You could write it on your calendar. But, you know, with this online stuff, you know, you're really relying on yourself now a lot more than you were. You know, you have to make sure that you're watching the lectures, you're going through the books, you're going through the notes, you're doing the homework, you're staying up to date on when the quizzes are, because I'll be the first one to admit, I didn't realize it was Saturday today. I thought Saturday was yesterday. You know, you get lost in that, but being able to stay on track, that's hard. That's very hard as a college student.
You attended Greensburg-Salem High School.
Mm-hmm.
What was your fondest memory there?
I got to say the playoff game my junior year, we played Ambridge High School, and, you know, we were just 2 powerhouses. They finished 17-1, and they ended up second in their conference. It was an insane kind of year, and we went to a penalty shootout, and we played at Penn Trafford, which isn't far from us. So a lot of our students and friends came. We probably had more kids there than the average football game at Greensburg. And that was just the atmosphere. It was our high school's first playoff game in, I think, 18 years. Crazy amount of years. And it was just a different feeling, and I'll never forget that feeling.
You gave me a segue, maybe on purpose. You mentioned the football team. Well, Greensburg-Salem's football team, a historic program, just won 700 career games. What was your reaction to that milestone?
You know, I was really excited because a lot of my friends' little brothers are on that team. So being able to, you know, I was hoping we would reach 700 in my years, but, you know, and I thought they were going to reach it last year, just fell a little short against Blackhawk. You know, I was really excited for them. I couldn't be more excited for the school district, and I know that every single Golden Lion there is very proud.
You're obviously very up on high school sports. I've even seen you at some sporting events at Greensburg-Salem. So I'll give you a little trivia question here. This wasn't on the list, so I'm going to make it tough on you. They are the 5th WPL school to win 700 football games. Can you name any of the other 4?
Oh, I would say Pittsburgh Central Catholic.
That is incorrect.
Really?
I'll give you a hint. One pretty close to Greensburg-Salem, a smaller school.
Oh, Jeanette.
Jeanette, there you go.
Hold on. Is Pine Richland on there?
They are not.
Really?
No. You just should have stopped with Jeanette.
I know.
You got that one. The other ones, by the way, Newcastle, Washington, and Aliquippa.
Oh,
Yeah,
I should have
can't
known
forget the
Aliquippa.
quips. It's okay. Along the same lines, favorite sports movie?
Honestly, Miracle on Ice. You know, I never knew how to ice skate or anything, but I was a big hockey fan growing up. And, you know, every time that coach, Herb Brook, gives that speech, I always tear up a little bit. And if I'm alone, I do cry. But if I have friends around, you know,
Yeah,
got to be a rock.
gotcha. Final thing, let's pretend you're back as a freshman at Greensburg-Salem High School. What advice would you give yourself back then?
Well, my freshman year, I was about 5 feet tall with shoes on and probably about 100 pounds soaking wet. So I would tell him to hit the weight room
Okay.
and, you know, maybe add a little bit more bulk. And I would tell him to just keep his head up because freshman and sophomore year was a real long road. But, I mean, it did pay off. But I definitely think as a freshman, I could have hit the weight room, you know, practice a little bit harder. And I would have told him, like, soccer's going to be your sport, you know. Enjoy the other sports, but just know, you know, soccer's going to be your sport.
And certainly many years later, you continue your soccer career here at Carlow.
Yeah.
DJ, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
DJ Zedalis, the senior goalkeeper for the Celtics here on the Celtics Spotlight.